This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Hello and welcome to Don't Get Me Started. It's the mother of all podcasts with Keith and Lee. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Well, it seems to me, Keith, like 6 months ago since we've been in the studio, we've been so busy with all the stuff that I want to talk about today. It won't be topical. We want to update everybody to where we are at the moment and where we're going. And one of the things that Keith mentioned on our last podcast or the one before was toxic masculinity. So Keith and I had a chat and Keith came up with a great idea.
It seems to me that all too often in mainstream media, when they talk about masculinity, they always have the adjective in front, toxic masculinity. And it's emphasised, well, it seems to me, so much that it's put a sort of a negative slur on the word masculine, and it's almost like it's an attack upon manhood, if you like, and I feel it is in many ways. And so the word masculinity or masculine has become something that a lot of people are afraid to say because they think masculinity are toxic, and of course there's been some absolute assholes who have put that out there into the public realm, but the majority of men are good. The majority of men are great masculine guys, and there's positive masculinity. So I thought we could address that.
Yeah, and we got together and we went through a few names and we came up with the name of the Men's Quarter.
I like it.
I like it. Keith and I, what we'd like to do is to embrace all the men's group around Noosa to bring it all into a place like a hub, like a collective. There's so much help out there for men to connect to, and we thought it'd be a good idea we get them all in one space.
Yeah, well, we have this beautiful studio here that sits here quite a few days where nothing is happening, so we want to make it available as a platform for all the various men's group to come in here. They can record their own episode, they can talk about what their group is doing, what their goals are, etc., or even announce events that are coming up. And so that men can tune into the Men's Quarter podcast. They can hear what the various groups around the Noosa and the Sunshine Coast are doing, and it can be kind of like a hub, as you said, where the men can check in to find out what's going on and network. And I really, really like this. And I think this is important because following on from being stirred up about the overuse of the word toxic when it's associated with masculinity, I read an article in my ABC News feed which has the headline, this, man keeping in heterosexual relationships. Now, it talked about men are so isolated, or so many men rather, are so isolated that they've lost their way, they've lost their identity, and they've lost their emotional centre, if you like. And a lot of the burden is falling upon their female partners, wives, to be their support emotionally.
That was alarming to me. Now, we did a podcast a few months ago about men's loneliness. I remember reading an ABC article about it said 1 in 3 men are lonely, and it shocked me and it shocked you. And so we did a podcast about it. And now we have created the Men's Quarter. It's going to be purely for men. Now, we have other interests around town. Walk of Wisdom is one, which is predominantly you rock up there, you introduce yourself. They have speakers, I think every week or every other week, I'm not too sure. And so what you do is you turn up, you introduce yourself, you get to know people, you go for a 10-minute walk, have a coffee, come back. So it's connecting. It's connected to the community, which I'm very for. Since then, Keith and I decided, right, I think it's time we did a mini-series. And we finished it Friday. We had a very good mate, Michael, who you might know.
Kiwi.
Tropicana. Anyway, you'll know him better over the next 3 podcasts that we will drop. Unfortunately, we won't be doing it right now. We have various other interests at the moment that we're getting into. Plus, Keith decided he needed a break. So as from next week, my co-host, my partner in crime will be overseas. So we've been trying to get our podcast all together before he goes. So there's no stress. And so he can go overseas, have fun, go to Bali, go to Thailand. The only place that He isn't going to his hell at the moment. But we're doing that because there's so much that we've been getting onto, and this is one of them. So I thought, and I said to Keith, I just want to update everybody where we are at the moment. The Men's Quarter is an interesting entry into men's health and well-being. Where we have reached out, we have contacted, or rather, we've contacted this lady who sent us an email, which is about, we need your help to support our October mandate, Me to Mate. Now, this is through a company called Mentoring Men, who has got into partnership with Channel 7. And what they want from individuals and mates to send in videos of the activities you do together, what you do together, how you spend time together, to compile all that to put on a big campaign in October. And that's what Keith and I have been doing today. And I'll let Keith explain to you what we've got up to.
We live close to the river in Noosa, and it's a beautiful spring day, perfect blue sky. The weather is very temperate, quite warm. So we filmed ourselves just walking along the bank of the river, also having a coffee and then doing a bike ride together. We love doing things like that together, Lee and I. But one of the things, of course, we didn't film today was us doing the podcast together, which would have been really good because that's what we really, really love doing. Yeah, we've just been out there living life, enjoying the environment and each other, which is really good. Can I just say one thing about the Men's Quarter? Even though it's a voice for men, and we invite every men's group, support group in any way, to contact us. And the studio here is available for you to use free of charge to come in to record what you'd like to say about your activities or whatever message you'd like to put out there. So the studio is here for the men of Noosa and the men of Sunshine Coast. Now, it's also, having said that, because it's man-centric, if you like, it's not closed for women. We'd love to hear what women have to say regarding their man, their partners, or what they think about the role of men in society. Because it's not only about well-being and mental health, it's about purpose, and it's about manhood, fatherhood, and identity. You know, these are the issues that are at stake when I think too much emphasis is on toxic masculinity. It's like, oh, I don't want to be a strong male because I'll be labelled toxic, you know. I don't want to kind of be the lead or the alpha male in me because I'll be targeted.
Well, their mission, which is from Me to Mate, is to provide vital support for men before they reach a point of crisis. Loneliness in particular is a significant challenge. And as we just said, with almost 1 in 3 Aussies experiencing loneliness, feeling lonely, and this is affecting men in particular. So to help tackle this crisis, which I find incredible that they're naming it as a crisis, we're launching the Me to Mate campaign this October. Their goal is to ignite a national movement encouraging men all over the country to connect with their communities to help alleviate loneliness. They raise awareness of the campaign through videos of real mates connecting, which will be broadcast across the Channel 7 network. And that's what Keith and I have done today. So we have done 3 different areas of what we do. And he's just reminded me, we haven't filmed us podcasting.
We must. Can I go back to this article about man keeping? One of the reasons that this article is talking about man keeping is because they have identified the fact that a lot of men are lonely. And so they're not connecting to their mates the way that they used to. They're connecting to their wives or their partners, and they're looking to them for emotional support. And so the women are finding, and women have always been nurturers. They're the ones who always look after the family, make sure the kids are happy, set the emotional or the atmosphere of the house, etc., or the domestic environment. But now they're taking a little bit extra burden where they have to be aware of the emotional state of their male partner, and they're finding that they're responsible for uplifting their male partner's emotional happiness, hence the term man-keeping, which I think is obviously indicative of the fact that men are lonely and that are not in their groups or their sense of man communities.
Yeah, I think we've got to spend a whole podcast to this because when you mentioned it before, it pricked my ears up. Now, have you noticed that in the community to any particular couple that you know?
No, I don't, because I think it's hidden. Men don't like to reveal their real selves. I mean, that's a bit of a general statement, but it's pretty widespread. You know, how many people are going to say, geez, man, I'm feeling bloody miserable. You know, I'm just bored. I've got nobody to hang out with. I've got nobody to... Who really tells you how you're feeling? So I think if it's out there, it's probably hidden.
Well, we've been aware of this for some time because we did the podcast before. When you look a little bit more into it, I can think off the top of my head at least 3 people or 3 couples I know. But it's so surprising for me, like I think I said in the podcast, where ever since I've come to Australia, it's been so warm and friendly. And they invite you around for a barbie, or they invite you for a game of golf, or you go, there's room for you to blossom and grow. So when it says down here, a crisis, and 1 in 3 Aussies experiencing loneliness, that's amazing. I find it
astonishing.
Yeah, I find it crazy that the Australia that I know, men are in crisis. It's a big word. I hope that you're enjoying the podcasts and the content that we're bringing to you each week. I want to take a moment to invite you to support the show. Your contributions help us continue creating high-quality episodes, bringing in exciting guests and exploring the topics you love. Every bit helps, whether it's a small donation or signing up for our Patreon account. By supporting us, you're not just helping keeping the lights on, you're becoming part of our community and helping us grow. To show our appreciation, we offer exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more for our supporters. So if you love what we do and you want to see us thrive, please consider signing up at buzzsprout.com/don't get me started, support the show. Thank you for being part of our journey, and let's keep the conversation going.
Well, it is, and it is astonishing. And when I think about it right now, I think men obviously connect with other men in the workplace, particularly tradies on building sites, and then men in sporting clubs, football clubs, surfing clubs. So it's hard to imagine, really, that this is going on. All I keep reading about it, so it must be there.
Well, I spoke to, which I won't mention the name, to a lady recently, and I went around the topic as such, never named it, and just mentioned a few little things about management and time and what do? You get out more? Do you do stuff? And no, not really. And being a girl, and I have girlfriends, and then I went, well, what about so-and-so? And he goes, well, not too much. And there it was. Mm-hmm. It became apparent. But again, I'm still flabbergasted, that's the word I was looking for, about 1 in 3.
Yeah, no, I'd have to say if this is true, I'm flabbergasted as well, because there's every opportunity, particularly in the town that we live in. I mean, it's cosmopolitan, and Noosa has become a high-class holiday destination, but it's still essentially a small coastal town. How many people live here? 80,000 people?
That many? I think 60, maybe.
Okay,
60.
Well, let's call 60.
It was 20 when I was here. They wanted to shut the gate at 20,000.
Well, whoever had that job didn't do it very well, did they?
No, they got fired.
40,000 have flooded in. And this is a town that's active. The sports clubs are all full. They're all running quite well. There's restaurants. There's places to go and have a beer. People are going to the beach all the time. People are always out walking, riding their bikes. So it's hard to imagine that people are actually lonely. Well, if you are, fellas, get out there. There's those group activities that I just mentioned, sports, leisure, get out there.
Yeah, we are passionate about it that much that we don't want to see that statistic rise to 1 in every 2. We want to make it 1 in every 8 or 10. We want to get everybody together and make it a man's mission.
Yeah.
To not be lonely.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's knock it on the head.
Let's knock it on the head.
And let's rise up men to believe in themselves as men and not to be afraid to be strong.
And I would encourage everybody to listen to our mini-series, which I think is poignant at the moment for the topics that we addressed on them.
Yes.
Which was interesting.
Yes.
Too. And it made you think. We had Michael on. Good on you, Michael. We appreciate it if you listen. You're probably not. Even he said, it got me thinking.
Because he hasn't had an experience in podcasting or discussing things, Because what you and I do, and we're very comfortable with this because we've been long-term mates and we've got a deep relationship. We trust each other. We know each other's families, wives, etc., blah, blah, blah. We open up and we're happy to talk about our inner thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And not many people are, which not many men are. Oh, I don't talk about that stuff. Oh, that sissy stuff, What are you, a puffer, talking like that, And we've got to get past that type of stupid thinking, like...
You've got to stop using that word, Keith.
Well, that's what they call you. If you talk, mate, I really feel along these lines, you get a lot of blokes will attack you. And that has to stop. It's like, dude, just drop the barriers. Don't be afraid to expose yourself because nobody's going to jump on you or judge you. In fact, you might find that somebody's going to reach out.
That's right.
Somebody's going to go, oh, mate, I didn't know you felt like that. Geez, come on, next Tuesday, let's go have a game of golf together.
Yeah, it's interesting. And with the men's quarter, Keith did the bio on it, and it said, in a world where the demands of life can sometimes feel overwhelming, it's essential to create a space where men can come together, share experiences, and empower one another. The men's quarter focus on men's health, well-being, manhood, fatherhood, and purpose in our life's journey. Here, we believe by fostering genuine connections and open conversations, we can support each other in navigating life's challenges, from mental health to physical fitness, from fatherhood to finding your true purpose. So join us on this exhilarating journey to become the best versions of ourselves. Together, we can lift each other and thrive. Well done, Keith. That sounds amazing.
Well, thank you, Lee, but that was on my heart. That's what I want us to do. And I think it's important that we, as men, accept ourselves. Okay, I'm a white, middle-class guy. I love footy. I love a beer at times with my mates. I love to go surfing, but that's who I am. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a friend to my mates. I've been a tradie. I've been a professional working guy. Yeah, I own it. I'm white. I'm middle class. I'm a male. I love it.
And you live a big life.
Yeah, and we can live a big life. What's stopping us?
Only ourselves.
So, that's my identity. I'm owning it. I'm not going to tell you my politics. That'll get me into trouble.
No, we won't go down that line.
A hint, it's not right.
Next Sunday.
And it's not in the centre.
Next Sunday, it's Father's Day.
And it's not identity left either.
Why didn't you just say it?
Well,
you've got everything but.
Well, I don't want anybody to think I'm extreme.
7th September, Father's Day. So all you fathers out there, rise up, take that title because you deserve it.
Yes.
The children, the wives, your family love you and who you are. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there and just enjoy being a father.
Yes. One of the great things that men can do is think ahead. Oh, it's next Saturday we can do this and organise some things with the family. It doesn't have to be grand, just little tiny things. Take the lead.
I always say, just come round and bring me a coffee and a muffin. I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right, I'll remember that. I'm writing that down. Yeah. How do you spell muffin?
Yeah. Muffin. Getting on to our next little thing that we've been working hard on is Rogue Radio Noosa. Now, we've had a lot of ups, very few downs. It's coming together. It's not far off. Keith's going away next week. I'm hoping in mid-September it becomes live. Now, we're still asking if you're out there and you've got something you want to say or you're a budding radio star in the making, come in. If you want to join us, you want to contribute to the station, come in. Let's talk. Hopefully at the moment we've got 2 presenters that's going to come in, which will be fantastic. But this is what I'm asking. If you've got a passion for it, send us an email to don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We would love this thing to grow, and we want you to be part of it and grow with it. There's a little bit more to do, but not that much. I get exhausted telling Keith about the plans, and Keith goes, Lee, one step at a time, and he's quite right. But until that time comes, when he comes back, when do you come back, 15th?
Yes.
I want to push that button, and it becomes online. So Rogue Radio Noosa is literally peeking around the corner.
Oh, bring it on. What an exciting future we have.
Yeah, so we have a lot of room and scope for anybody to come in. Please come in, say hi.
Yeah, you might want to be a DJ and play your favourite genre of music for an hour or so. You might want to be a person who runs a hobby segment, or you might want to be somebody who comes in and talks about what your passion is, interviews, books, what your hobby is, sports. We're open. It'll, of course, be a mix, what is presented, the music and talk and all sorts of things, sports, the news, of course. The only time the news won't be there is if actually we all wake up one day and the world has been obliterated.
Yes, it'll be gone.
Be gone.
Be all over.
Now, that's a headline, isn't it? but none of us can enjoy.
I've been speaking to a few people about it, and they go, it's not a radio station. They are right. It's not. We haven't got a transmitter. We're not shoving out into the airwaves. And it's probably even not a station. It's an internet streaming website.
Could you call it a channel?
A channel, yeah, we could call it that. So every time I've spoken, I reckon 70% when I say, we're going to start up a radio station. It's not a station. So anyway, it's Rogue Radio Noosa.
Well, there you go. Okay, it's not a radio for all you people who want to be correct, but it's going to be a radio format and it will be broadcast. And it's going to be broadcast on the World Wide Web, and that's the only difference. And the wonderful thing about that is, Lee, you can be in Iceland and you'll be able to listen to us.
Well, we can be in Iceland and join in.
Yes.
Live. We can go live DJ anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Because it's in the cloud.
How exciting is
that?
So
we can do that. So
do you know anybody in Iceland who'd like a gig once a week?
Only Bjork.
Oh, she's
Icelandic, isn't she?
Yeah. Do you know her?
Well, I'll get her on.
Do you have a phone number?
No.
Do you have any phone numbers to big, famous international people or organisations?
Leave it with me. I'll find them.
I've got the phone number to the French Foreign Legion.
Have you?
Yes. So if your life falls apart, I can steer you in the right direction.
Why would I want to go there?
Well, once you go through the door, apparently your past is wiped out.
Really?
And your future is all ahead of you. That's if you survive their dirty missions that they sent you on, like blowing up the Rainbow Warrior in Auckland that time. Or whatever. Right. So I can also give you the phone number to the Vatican and NASA.
Well, once we're on the radio and we can go live, we can bring them up. But that's the beauty of it. So we can tune in anywhere. I want to do some travel blogs as well. Keith and I have been talking about that, where we can then just phone in, we go live. I mean, it's incredible, the technology that we can use. Rode has brought out, I won't get into it. I don't want to bore Keith again with it all. But Rode, you're amazing. Keep up the good work. Every time I've contacted you guys, you've been amazing. So once I get the radio, I nearly said station. Once I get the internet station, once I get Rogue up, you're going to get Prime Spot. Well done, Rode.
There you go. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, they've been good. And for those of you who may not quite know what Rode is, that's the brand of most of the equipment that we use here in the broadcasting in our podcast.
Australian-made.
Studio. Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, well done, Aussies, us. I would have thought it looked not American. I thought it looked European, but it's Australian. It's all quality, isn't it?
It's quality, mate.
And they're ahead of the curve. They're coming up with new little gadgets. Lee is the tech guy, folks, and he's built the studio and put it all together. There's gadgets everywhere, leads everywhere. And the Beatles back in the day used to have this guy that was always fiddling around with the latest electronic things. I used to call him Magic Alex. So I don't call Lee that. I call him I call him the Podmaster because he's got what I call magic gadgets in here everywhere. There's cameras and lighting and leads and consoles with buttons on them. And
they all work.
They all work.
And they're all functional. And we just had a problem as we started the podcast because we could hear a shh, shh, shh. And I'm thinking, how do I address this now? I'm going to ring Rode. And I remember watching an old Sherlock Holmes movie, and it was Watson. And he goes, Holmes, I seem to mislay the list. And then Sherlock goes, well, Watson, retrace your steps. And then he retraced his steps, and as he put his arm down, the list stuck to his arm. And he goes, oh, here it is. He goes, there you go, Watson. And I'm thinking, what has changed since we started this podcast? I put the aircon on.
And you turned off and it disappeared.
It's gone. It's gone. So it's all the air. So there we are.
If that's something that I would do. If something doesn't work, I just get frustrated and swear quietly. And then somebody sensible comes along and said, have you plugged it in? Oh.
The other thing with Rode, which they've done, which I completely freaked out about, is they came out with this excellent concept, and it's called Rode Call Me. So basically what it is that you get onto the Rodecaster Pro or the Rodecaster Duo, you put in a Call Me, which is an app, and it throws you up your specific code that then, say, for instance, I said to Keith, I said, hey, Keith, here's the code. It's CP738. You've got to connect with callme@rode.com.au. Keith does that. A box comes up, puts it in, we connect, and then the preamps in the Rodecaster sounds so clear, so amazing, that Keith could be in the Arctic Circle and he would sound like he's just across from me, which he is. But anyway, we heard an echo and I was pulling my hair out and good old Rogue tried to do the best they could. And finally, after the third phone call, they said, okay, so explain to me again. So I said, well, I put up the call, Rogue Call Me Light, and I got the code and I gave it to my colleague. Oh, okay. And did he connect through the laptop? Yes, he did. And when the box comes up, there's a sign that says cancel echo.
Echo cancellation.
I said, Keith, can you do that next time? He did it. Sounded perfect.
See, that's what I mean. Is it plugged in?
Sounded perfect. Yeah, but that was me too.
But what Lee is saying, folks, is that if you are anywhere outside of the studio, just down the road or, say, in Germany, we can contact you through the studio, and all you have to do for us to talk with you and to record the conversation, all that person has to do outside the studio is open up their computer, go to the webpage callme.road, and a very simple page opens up. You are given the code, you pop the code in and you press join the conversation. And then you'll talk to us in the studio through your computer. So you just simply talk to your computer screen and we pick it up here and it's all recorded in the studio. It's that simple. It's simpler than using Zoom. Zoom, you're talking to each other via the computer, but you've got to press a few little different buttons to make sure that all the visuals pop up. This is 10 times simpler than Zoom, and it's audio, and it is crystal clear.
Because the preamps in the Rodecaster Pro 2 are incredible. And I never truly realised until I got to know this machine how incredible it is. And they're coming out with state-of-the-art stuff, which I get excited about because it makes my life easier. And most of it's Bluetooth. Well, if the internet goes down, it's not good news, but everything surrounding it is incredible. And when you can be in the Arctic Circle, you can be in Africa, but it comes through the preamps actually on the Rode Procaster 2. It's like you're sitting there. I'm looking at Keith now. It's like you'll be sitting right opposite because it comes through the machine. It's amazing.
See, guys, we started this little chat to tell you about our program, what we're doing. Lee, the geek guy, the magic gadget guy, has been raving for the last 10, 15 minutes about the latest technological update in our in our studio. So the last few minutes have sounded like an advertisement. Going back to Sherlock Holmes, if I could do that, Lee.
Sure.
Have you ever read all his stories?
I've read a couple, but I've seen all the movies.
The books are astonishing. Yeah. He's been so stereotyped in a lot of the movies in the past until Guy Ritchie got hold of him. I thought Guy Ritchie's depiction of Sherlock was spot on because a lot of the stereotypical presentation or representations of him in the past is a mild guy, well-dressed, well-mannered who, yes, he had a brain, he smoked a pipe and he could solve crimes. But if you read the book, Sherlock Holmes is an absolute sloth.
Yes.
And he's a grub. And if he doesn't have anything to stimulate him, he doesn't wash, he doesn't go outside his house, he takes drugs.
He's an opium fiend.
Yeah, he injects himself with opium, with opioids. He doesn't want to see people and he lives kind of in a semi-darkness recluse in his home. He's just an absolute slob. But the moment he has a mental challenge, which of course is the forte for him is solving crimes, he comes alive and it's almost like an entirely different person. And of course, that's where we get the saying, what's in the game's afoot? Because at last I've got something to justify my existence. And the book is full of that illustration or representation of what Sherlock is like. And it's so spirited. The books are just galloping with drama and suspense. And when I read them, I thought, oh my God, this is not the Sherlock Holmes that I remember seeing in the old television and movie shows, but he's the guy, man, I tell you.
With Guy Ritchie, that's Robert Downey Jr. And then Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good Holmes.
Portrait of Holmes, yes.
And I don't know anybody out there that remembers this guy, Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, well, way back in the day. Geez, how old are you, Lee?
Yeah, I'm old enough.
You must have been watching it when you were 6.
Put it that way. But yeah, I love all that. But anyway, this is why we didn't get into a topic because we're 32 minutes in now.
Well, this is supposed to be an update, which we thought we'd only go for about 8 or so minutes.
Yeah.
But it's been a little mini podcast because we've talked about men's loneliness, we've talked about men's keeping, we've talked about the wonderful little gadgets, equipment you have in the studio here, and we even touched on the great Sherlock Holmes.
The great Sherlock Holmes.
And, of course, we promoted the men's quarter, which is something we're very excited about.
Quickly before we end, check us out on YouTube. We brought out another one talking about Rogue Radio and encouraging people to join us. Check that out. But until then, Keith, I'll leave you the last word.
Oh, look, could you just say that again? I don't think I've
No,
ever...
I'm not going to say it again.
I've never had anybody in my entire life who would say to me, you can have the last word. Generally, their last words are, can you stop talking, please?
Yeah, can you shut up?
So I have to. Like one guy said to me years ago when the Ukraine conflict blew up, and one guy said to me, because he knew that I keep a keen eye on geopolitical things, and he said, Keith, he said, what's your opinion on what's happening in the Ukraine?
And they went, no, don't ask him.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I
All
get
the
it.
other guys who were there said, don't ask him, don't ask. And I picked up the cues and I said, you want the long version or the short version? Oh, just the short version,
The
thanks.
micro be good, thanks.
So I delivered that to him and he went, okay. Anyway, so the last word is thanks for listening, dear listeners. You know, we love you all. Thanks for the energy that you provide for us to do what we do here. And so until next time, it's hooroo from me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.